Good morning. Assalamualaikum, everybody. Today is the 5th of May, 2025, and today we're going to have the first presentation of LCC402. Okay, and our presentation today is on presenting of your outline charts and graph. Okay, and today we have about 9 groups, yeah, 9 pairs. Okay, 9 pairs presenting, and I have shared with you the scores, how you will be evaluated, what are the criteria, and also you have given me the topics for each pair. So if you are ready, I would like to invite the first pair to Mr. Razli Afiq Jazimin and Mr. Muhammad Takif with the title Trends and Statistics of Road Fatalities in Malaysia and Analysis. So Takif and Razli, the floor is yours.
Can you hear my voice?
Loud and clear.
Alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today, my partner and I'm going to present about the topic that is trends and statistics of road fatalities in Malaysia. But before that, let me introduce our members. So first of all, my name is Muhammad Takif bin Jamaluddin. And my partner name is Razli Afiq Jazimin bin Razmil Azhar. So, for the introduction of the road fatalities, road accident claim the lives of almost 1.35 million people annually, of 3,700 people every day on average. Individuals, their families, and entire countries suffer significant financial loss as a result of road accident. According to Miro's 2018 Value of Statistics Life report, the Malaysian government has lost at least 3.12 million for every fatality. Road accidents are a minor public health concern in Malaysia. So we're gonna go to the background and central idea.
All right, thank you, my fellow presenter, Muhammad Takif. So I will proceed with the next slide. Takif, can you move on to the next slide? Hello? Takif. Next slide, next slide.
You can see?
No. Okay.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Can you guys see the new slide? All right. So I will move on with the background and central idea. So as for our topic, road fatalities and statistics. Firstly, what is road fatalities? It is referring to road accidents or fatalities that occurs during traffic jams or during driving towards going back home to or the commute to work, everything involving the road, basically. That is the background. Road fatalities can also include not only drivers but also every users of our roads, such as cyclists or motorcyclists, even pedestrians themselves. And they are usually reported by law enforcement or health authorities, or also as fellow Malaysians, we are quite busybody. So we usually slow down when we see accidents, so they will also report them. Right, so I will pass back the floor to Takif for the effects of these topics.
Okay, now for the effects. There are 2 effects that may happen to the victim. First, from emotional and psychology impact. Families suffers from grief and trauma. This is because one of their family have been into accident and maybe be a trauma to family members. And then survivor also may experience PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder because of they afraid that something similar will happen again in the future. Third, community morale can be affected, especially in small towns. And lastly, long-term psychological burden on witness and first respondent. So for the witness, they will experience something that very terrified for them, and they wish they will not see that again in the future. But because they already seen the terrified experience, that may be a burden for them to because they afraid that will happen to them in the future. So for the second effect, economic consequences. So first of all, will loss of income if the disease was a breadwinner. Second, high cost of emergency response, healthcare and legal procedure. And third, increased insurance premium. And lastly, national economic loss due to reduced productivity. So I will pass the floor to the Razif.
All right, thank you, Takif. So, as for the central idea of our topic, it can help you raise public health and safety concerns. As I'm sure most of us are drivers, active drivers, as I am also sure that most of us are non-residents, so we have to commute from our home to the ITM. So, by presenting on these topics, maybe we can help raise more awareness upon the causes and dangers of road accidents. And second one is awareness and educations are key to prevention. So what we are referring to within this is maybe we follow the rules of the roads, don't drive fast, don't drive fast within school zones or household zones. And the third one is involvement of all stakeholders, which translates to everyone who uses the roads, drivers, authorities, policymakers, and also among members of my fellow classmates. Fourth, strict enforcement of traffic laws can help reduce traffic fatalities. So not only the enforcement of laws, but also the uh, we must follow the laws. If the laws is there but we don't follow it, there is no purpose, and it can also not help reduce fatalities. Lastly, is promoting safe driving habits is essential. So, what are some habits that I can take off at the top of my head? Maybe we tend to run the red light. That is not very safe. Or maybe we tend to play our phones. That is also not very safe. So by presenting this, we can maybe prevent my fellow drivers on the road to do these dangerous activities. That is all for me.
So we're gonna go to our research. So the graph that we choose is line graph. Like as you can see, it is road fatality index from 2010 and 2019. And from this graph, that what we can get is Malaysia has shown a steady decrease from 2010 until 2019, which we start with 3.4 and it decreased until 1.97. The highest fatalities recorded was during 2010, which is 3.4 for index. And during the year 2016, there was a slightly increase from 2015, which from 2.55, it goes to 2.59. So for the uh, because of the steady decrease, because of maybe the Malaysian already shown awareness about the road fatalities and they become more carefully in driving. Also, maybe all the vehicle become more the technology become increased, which they have automatic brake, which can reduce the road fatalities happen in Malaysia. So for that is for line graph, and then I'm gonna pass it to Razi
Okay,
for the
thank you.
second
Okay.
graph.
So what we have on the screen here is the bar graph. It shows the numbers of average daily traffic accidents and death within Malaysia in the year, if I'm not mistaken, the latest year of 2024. So as we can see in the graph, the highest days with the highest accident rate is Monday. Now, why do we think this? Why does this happen? Why is Monday the most days with accidents? After discussion with Takif and Doctor also, I think that because it is due to our Monday blues, we feel sluggish, or maybe we're not paying as much attention to roads while driving, and it is also the new day, the new week after holidays and the weekends. So maybe we are not as careful when driving. That is why Monday is the highest day, highest average number of accidents at 1,803 accidents per day. However, the Friday is also a strong contender for the highest average number of accidents, only being a one difference from Monday, which is one at 1,802. Now, we also think that this is the opposite of Monday. Maybe people are more excited to leave for the weekends. They are leaving their jobs. So maybe they tend to get adrenaline rush. So they drive faster. They want to get somewhere quicker, and maybe due to traffic itself. Because most people tend to go back home or travel somewhere by their cars. So there are more traffics, which leads to more accidents. Meanwhile, the graph proves that Sunday is the day with the least traffic accidents occurrence. Now, why do we think so? We think so because maybe it is the end of the week. People tend to relax. They have to prepare for their Monday works. They have to prepare for classes. They have to prepare to go back home. So maybe there are less cars on the roads. And I'm sure it is evident that at our own hometown, our own respective hometowns, you can see that during Sundays there are less cars compared to the Fridays or Mondays. I think that is all from me. So I will now proceed to conclude our presentation for today. All right. So what can we take from this topic, which is road fatalities and accidents? Traffic accidents and road deaths in Malaysia are more than just numbers. They represent real life loss and families affected. These tragedies are largely preventable with right awareness, responsibility, and collective actions. Every individual drivers, pedestrians, policymakers, and the public has a role in making our roads safer. We must not wait for another life to be lost before taking this issue seriously. The journey towards safer roads begins with us. Let's act now to protect every life on the road. A simpler version of it is road fatalities affects everyone, not just drivers, but also pedestrians, cyclists, joggers who uses the roads. So as a collective, we must work together to reduce the numbers of accidents by raising awareness and practicing safe driving. That is all from me. I open the floor for any question if there's any. There's 1 minute left, I think. Questions, anyone? Fellow drivers? Okay, I think it is safe to say that there is no question as our presentation is so informative. All right, so now I will pass the floor to the second pair, which is a study on divorce trends and major causes in Malaysia, which will be presented by Aifa and Fatin. You guys ready? Aifa and Fatin.
Thank you, Razli. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Doctor and my fellow classmates. Today, my partner and I would like to present our topic titled A Study on Divorce Trends and Major Causes in Malaysia. But before that, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Nafatin Shamira binti Khalid and my student ID is 2024530671.
And my name is Aifa Shakira binti Aziz. My metric number is 2024954283. And we are from group N4CS2484B1. So for our pair assignment, we choose two types of chart, which is line graph and bar chart. For the purpose of our study is to show the trend of the number of divorces and divorce rate in Malaysia from 2016 to 2023. The second purpose is to discuss about the top four reasons for divorce in Malaysia in 2023 and their respective percentage.
Sorry. So now for the introduction. Divorce is no longer a rare occurrence in Malaysia, yet it has become a growing social issue that affects many families across different backgrounds. In recent years, the number of divorce cases has continued to rise, raising concerns about the stability of marriage in today's society. This study aims to look beyond the statistics and understand why this is happening. By analyzing trends over time and identifying the most common reasons for divorce, we hope to gain a clear picture of the challenges that modern couples face. Understanding these patterns is important not only for policymakers and support services, but also for young people like us who may one day face the same realities in our own relationship.
Next, I will present about our background of topic. Let's begin by understanding what divorce means. Divorce refers to the formal ending of a marriage through legal means, officially recognized by a court of law. According to Oxford Language 2023, it marks the legal dissolution of a marital relationship. Now let's look at the divorce trend in Malaysia. Over the past few years, the number of divorce cases in Malaysia has been increasing. This issue is becoming more serious, especially among younger couples. Several common factors have been identified as contributor to this issue, which is domestic violence, infidelity, lack of communication, and husband did not provide maintenance.
Next, our central idea is divorce cases in Malaysia have shown an increasing trend in recent years, which raised serious concerns about the main cause behind marital breakdown.
Next, I will present about our first chart, which focus on divorce trend over the past 9 years. Display here is a chart showing the number of divorces and the crude divorce rate, or we call it CDR. In in Malaysia from the year 2016 to 2023. This data taken from Department of Statistics Malaysia. As we can see here, the number of divorces fluctuated over the years. From 2016 to 2023, divorce uh, divorce number were stable around 50,000 to 56,000 with a steady CDR of 1.6 to 1.7. However, in 2020 and 21, divorce dropped significantly, likely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The lowest number was recorded in 2021 at 43,936 divorces. In 2022, the number spiked to 63,338, marking the highest in this period with a CDR 1.9. The peak in the peak in 2020 could be linked to post-pandemic relationship stresses, but in 2023 it dropped again to 57,835, reflecting a decrease of about 8.7% compared to the previous year, and the CDR slightly reduced to 1.8. This trend suggests that while divorce remains a significant issue, it is influenced by various social and external factors, including economic condition and public health crises. Now let's move on to the second part of our chart presentation where we investigate the major causes of divorce.
So this is the second chart, which is horizontal bar chart. This chart shows the top 4 reasons for divorce in Malaysia in 2023 and their respective percentage based on Telenisa Statistic and Findings 2023 report. Basically, this reason is likely influenced by post-COVID-19 pandemic. The most common reason is domestic violence at 20% of the cases. This is a serious issue that puts people's safety at risk. Many victims try to fix the situation or stop the abuse, but when nothing changed, divorce becomes the only way for them to protect themselves or to protect their children. This domestic violence may be worsened due to stress in their financial strain during post-COVID-19 pandemic, leading the high divorce rate in 2023 as shown by previous chart. The second reason is husband did not provide maintenance at 19% of cases. This means the husband didn't support the family financially. After the pandemic, many families struggled with money, which may explain the sharp rise in divorces in 2022, as we explained in the chart before. Next is communication breakdown at 17%. Spending more time at home um, during lockdown made it easier for problems to show up. If couples could not solve them, they end up separating as they don't want to face it anymore. Finally, infidelity caused 12% of the divorces. Cheating often happens, especially when the relationship is already under stress and it becomes the common reason to break up. Overall, the graph highlights that both financial and emotional issues play major roles in causing divorces in Malaysia.
So for the conclusion, the increasing divorce rate in Malaysia, especially among younger couples, signal a serious need to address relationship challenges early on. This highlight the importance of providing accessible early counseling service and comprehensive premarital education to better prepare individuals for married life. Additionally, building a stronger support system and promoting financial planning skills are crucial steps to help couples manage the pressure of marriage more effectively. These tools can play a significant role in preventing breakdowns in relationship. Lastly, a collaborative effort between educational institutions, religious organizations, and the government is essential to foster a culture that values strong, resilient families. By working together, we can build a future where marriage are not only more stable but also more fulfilling.
So this is our reference. We took the data from Department of Statistics Malaysia or DOSIF in 2024 and also from Statistic and then Dapatan Telenisa 2023. And thank you for watching. Next, we will invite the next group, which is
Which is the title is a data back look at mental health issue in Malaysia. The presenter is Nur Sabrina and Aina Najwa.
Alright, so good morning to Dr. Wan Zumusni and everyone. My name is Nur Sabrina Batrisha binti Muhammad Nazir Nikmal, and my partner is Sainana Joa binti Sabtu. Today we'll be presenting on a critical and timely issue, a data-backed look at mental health issues in Malaysia. And the purpose of our research is to show the rise of mental health cases in Malaysia over the years and to present the distribution of mental health disorders among Malaysians. Now, mental health is becoming a growing public health concern in Malaysia, especially in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. We've seen a rise in mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and stress disorders, which affect people across different age groups from the youth to the elderly.
All right. Thank you, Sabrina. So to ensure our presentation is credible, we conducted through research using reliable sources. This includes government documents, academic journals, and official health reports. Notably, we refer to studies published in the Lancet Regional Health, BMC Public Health, and reports from the Ministry of Health Malaysia, MOH.
Now, to give you some context, the 2019 National Health and Morbidity Survey, or NHMS, reported that 29% of Malaysian adults were concerned about their mental health. This was before the pandemic, and since then, stress levels have increased, particularly among young generations and working adults. Aina, you're muted.
Sorry. The central focus of our presentation is to explore the most common mental health disorders affecting Malaysians in 2023. Based on recent research and data, we will highlight the growing prevalence of depression, anxiety, and stress-related disorders, particularly in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Now let's take a closer look at the data from 2021 to 2023. Here, the depression rates rose sharply from 49% in 2021 to 58% in 2022, then slightly decreased to 55% in 2023. Anxiety levels followed a similar pattern, which rising from 48% to 55% and then slightly dropping to 53%. And lastly, stress levels showed a steady increase from 34% in 2021 to 40% in 2022, with a small decline to 39% in 2023. So what does this data tell us? Now, mental health issues surged significantly during and immediately after the peak of the pandemic in 2022. Although there is a slight drop in 2023, the overall levels of depression, anxiety, and stress remain high, which is higher than the pre-pandemic levels. And this shows that mental health concerns in Malaysia are not just short-term reactions to COVID-19, but they're also becoming a long-term public health issues.
All right, we move to the next chart, which is pie chart. Okay, this pie chart visually illustrates the distribution of mental health disorders among nations in 2023. The chart is divided into 5 color segments, each representing a specific disorder and its percentage of total reported cases. Visually, the chart highlights that more than 3/4 of mental health issues fall under anxiety and depression, signaling a need for targeted mental health policy in this area. Okay, for the pie chart analysis, as shown in the pie chart, anxiety disorders are the most reported mental health condition in Malaysia, making up 43% of cases. This reflects the significant impact of post-pandemic stress, economic uncertainty, and social pressures. Depression follows closely, accounting for 32% of cases. This indicates a continuing mental health crisis linked to issues like unemployment, social isolation, and academic stress, especially among young adults. Bipolar disorders make up 10%, while schizophrenia represents 8% of reported cases. Although less common, these conditions require long-term care and support. Finally, 7% of cases fall under the category of other disorders, which includes OCD, eating disorders, and PTSD. While smaller in proportion, these disorders still significantly impact individuals' quality of life. Okay. Uh, In conclusion, mental health issues in Malaysia are on the rise, with anxiety and depression being the most common disorders. The data reflects the deep social and emotional impact of the pandemic, economic challenges, and societal pressures. To address this growing crisis, it is crucial for the government and healthcare systems to invest in mental health awareness, early diagnosis, and accessible treatment programs. With proper intervention, we can reduce stigma and support a healthier future for all Malaysians. That's all from that's all from our group.
Now that concludes our presentation on mental health issues in Malaysia. We would like to invite pair 4, Murshida binti Muzaffar and Shaza Khalila binti Ahmad Zairi to present on the effects of obesity on academic awareness. The floor is yours.
So, Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Especially to Dr. Wan Zumusni and all my fellow friends here. Today, me, Shaza Khalila binti Ahmad Zairi and my partner, Murshida binti Muzaffar, will be sharing something that really hits close to home for me, which is the relationship between the obesity and academic performance among students. It's more than just a research topic. It's something I personally relate to, and we hope you find it as eye-opening as we did. So let's be honest. When people hear the word obesity, they usually think it's all about looks. But the truth is, it affects so much more than just someone's appearance. It impacts your energy, your focus, and even your confidence. And yes, even your grades. I have moments in class where I felt tired for no reason or second guess myself during my presentation just because of how I felt physically. So today we are here not just to present the data, we want to talk about something real, how health and learning are connected, especially for students like us.
Okay, next we will move to background of topic. Obesity is more than just a physical issue. It brings along several psychological effects such as a low self-esteem, poor sleep condition, and reduced concentration. And this factor can significantly impact a student's academic performance. But in some culture, obesity is either socially accepted or not taken seriously, especially among the youth. And this culture attitude is often lead to low self-awareness and limited action towards maintaining a healthy lifestyle. But even though there is many treatment available, many people struggles with long-term weight management. And this shows that obesity is not just a short-term problem, but it is a persistent issue that needs to continuous attention. And by understanding how obesity affects academic outcome, we can work towards creating effective awareness program and support system for the students.
Okay. To start off, let's take a look on how aware students actually are about this connection. Uh, Here's what we found. This pie chart shows students' awareness of the link between obesity and academic performance. Only 42% of the students said they were aware that obesity can negatively impact their studies, and the remaining 58% said they didn't know, meaning more than half of the students don't recognize how obesity might affect important academic factors like concentration, energy, and motivation. So this highlights a real issue when it shows a gap in health education. Students may not realize how much their physical well-being plays a role in how well they do in school.
Next, we will move to the paired bar chart, which break down awareness level based on the gender. On the x-axis, as we can see, we have the gender, which is male and female. And on the y-axis, we can see the number of the students. And for the green bar, it represents the student who believe the obesity is disadvantageous to academic performance, while the blue bar represents those who not believe so. So for amongst female students, there is 28 students that said no, which they don't believe obesity affects studies, while only 16 female students that said yes. And for the male students, 35 said they don't believe obesity affects studies, but 21 male students that said yes. And as we can see, there is slightly more male students that believe obesity affects academic performance, but in both gender, as we can see, majority of them said they do not believe that obesity affect the studies. And to sum up, both female and male student shows that they show low awareness and there is no strongs between them.
So we jump into the conclusion. So from what we get from the two charts, it means that obesity can quietly but seriously affect academic performance. But the good news is small changes can make a big difference. Whether it's eating a bit healthier or moving more during the day, or just being aware of how our body feels. It's all adds up. So that's all from us. Thank you for giving us space to speak about something that's often overlooked but truly important. So let's work towards creating a campus where health and education support each other. So that's all from us. We'll be moving on to the next pair, which is Karina binti Muhammad Nizam and Shazlin binti Suhardi.
All right. Thank you for the previous presentation from Murshida and partner. So, Assalamualaikum and good morning to Doctor and my fellow friends. So, my name is Khairina binti Muhammad Nizam, together with my pair partner Nur Shazli binti Suhardi. For this morning, we would like to present the data that we chose, which is the title is Screen Time Search with the special focus on a comparative look at smartphone usage by age, group, and social media platform popularity. Without further delay, we move to the introductions. So let's start with introductions. And for the introduction, we would like to focus on the types and purpose of charge, background, and the central idea and main points. So let's start with the types. For the charge that we will show later, the first charge we use pie charge. It's showing the popularity on of a different social media platform in Malaysia for 2024. And the second data we use bar chart, and it is highlights for the average number. So for the types, the second chart is we use bar graph, and it is highlights the average number of our people spend on screen based on their age group. And then move to the background. We use two resources, which is from Meltwater and Mastermind Behavior. So Meltwater find that Malaysians are very active on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Meanwhile, Mastermind Behavior said that screen time peaks during the teenager years and remains quite high in adulthood. And then the main focus of our presentation is we want to focus on the social media usage and screen time by age, and then we want to discuss platform popularity age trends and digital lifestyle impact. So we move to the data. As shown on your screen, we can see it is data about the social media platform popularity in Malaysia and how Malaysians spend their screen time. So as you can see, TikTok leads with the highest number of users. It is reached about 29 millions in Malaysia. And you can see YouTube follows closely with around 24 million users. And Facebook also remains high popularity with approximately 23 million users. As we know, Instagram still quite popular, and has a noticeably smaller use base with around 19 millions, uh, 19 millions users. On the other hand, LinkedIn and X, we formerly known as a Twitter before, which was formerly known as, it shows that much lower numbers with about uh, 8 millions and 5 millions users respectively. So, from this chart, we can conclude that we as a Malaysians really strongly prefer entertainment and video sharing platform like TikTok and YouTube compared to the professional or news-based entertainment, and it is plays a major role. Um, sorry, compared to the professional or news-based platforms such as LinkedIn and X, maybe formerly known as a Twitter. So this highlights how entertainment plays a major role in shaping online habits in Malaysia. So next, I will pass to the next presenter, Nur Shazlin.
So thank you, Karina. Now I'm here to talk about something that is a huge part of our life, which is the screen time. So whether it's scrolling, studying, game, or just watching cat video, screens are everywhere. Now let's take a closer look at this graph. So based on a study by Sumra about the average screen time across different age groups, starting with the youngest, 0 to 2 years old, these tiny humans spend about only 0.8 hours a day in front of the screens. So at this stage, screen exposure is quite low because the pediatrician actually recommend minimizing screen time for infant, focusing more on the real world interaction. Now we're moving on to 3 to 5 years old. The average jumps to about 2.5 hours per day. So this increase is mostly because they start to exploring educational gaps, educational apps, TV show, and games designed for the early warning. So screen becomes a colorful tool for both education and entertainment. And now we also have 6 to 12 years old who average 5 hours. So at this stage, schoolwork often move online. So kids get their first tablets and gaming becomes a favorite pastime. So technology becomes a daily necessity for both learning and for fun. Now, let's talk about the real screen time champion, which is 13 to 18 years old. So these teenagers spend about 7.5 hours a day on the screen. So it is the highest of all age groups. So social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, plus online classes and streaming all pile up to create long hours of screen engagement. So it's not just about the entertainment, it is a social connection, expression, and even identity building at this age. So moving on to the young adult, ages 19 to 24 and 25 to 34. Both of this group average about 7 hours of screen time daily. So while some of this is due to work, a lot of it also tied up to online shopping, gaming, video streaming, and of course, endless scrolling on social media. So screen is not just part of their free time, but they are essential too for work, networking, and even side hustle. So however, once we hit the 35 to 44 and 45 to 54 age groups, screen time slightly dropped to around only 6 hours per day. So this group often balance busy schedule with family life. So screen time is still significant, but it starts to feel more functional because of like email, news, and productivity apps rather than the endless entertainment. And finally, the 55 to 64 years old average about only 5 hours a day. So many in this group are semi-retired or working less. And while they are still use screen for the communication, entertainment, and staying informed, the overall dependency on screen begin to ease. So to sum up this graph, it shows us a life cycle of screen time. It starts to low in early childhood, but it rises sharply during the teenage and young adult years, then gradually falls as people grow older and life priorities change. Next slide, please. So, what can we conclude is our analysis of screen time and social media use reveal clear patterns shaped by ages and lifestyle. So teenagers and young adults are at the peak of digital engagement, spending the most time of screen time and favoring platforms that offer fast-paced, video-rich content like TikTok and YouTube. So as people age, screen time gradually decrease, shifting for entertainment to more functional use. So this trend highlight deeply integrate digital platform in our daily routine. So from the education and work to social interaction and leisure. So as technology continues to evolve, understanding these habits becomes crucial because not just for individuals, but also for educators, employers, and also the policymaker looking to support healthier digital life across all age groups. So that's all from our group. Now I open the floor if there is any question. So I consider there is no question from the floor. Now I will pass to the next presenter, Nur Naimi Adriana and Nur Baiya Ashikin, to share their finding on the social media usage.
Thank you, Shazlin. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. So today, my partner and I would like to explain about our topic, which is social media usage in Malaysia. Our presentation on social media usage is backed by credible research from esteemed organizations like Medwater and other trust sources. This ensures that our content is very trustworthy, empowering our audience to tackle this important issue with confidence. Before that, I would like to introduce myself, which is I am Nur Naimi Adriana binti Muhammad Maulana, and my partner is.
Okay, my name is Nurbaya Ashiki binti Rosli. Okay, for the introduction, in today's digital age, social media has become an essential part of everyday life, from staying connected with friends and family to sharing news, opinions, and experiences in platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. These apps influence how we communicate and interact. While social media offers many benefits, such as instant access to the information and global networking, it also raises concerns about privacy, mental health, and screen time. Understanding the impact of social media usage is key to navigating its role in modern society.
So next, purpose on our topic is first is to analyze how many hours that people spend on social media every month. Second, to find the main reason of using internet and social media.
Okay, for the background of topic, the definition of social media is a form of mass media communication on internet, such as website for social networking and microblogging. Uh, Other than that, social media also is have easy access because it have high percentage of population that has access to the internet, making it important to study user behavior. So many people are connected online. It becomes essential to understand how and why they use the internet. Studying user behavior helps identify patterns, preferences, and needs. This knowledge can support the development of more relevant digital services, improve online education, guide marketing strategies, and inform government decisions about technology and infrastructure. And for the central idea, social media usage is becoming increasingly widespread and influential, shaping how people communicate, consume information, and express themselves in both personal and professional contexts. It is important to know about social media usage because it is significantly impacts our behavior, mental health, relationship, and even the way we perceive the world. Understanding its effects help individuals make informed choices, use the platforms responsibly, and protect their well-being in a constantly connected world.
So this is the data that we collect from Wetwater in line chart, which is time spent using social media apps in Malaysia in January 2024. So as we can see in the graph, the Malaysians spend the most time on TikTok, averaging 38 hours and 49 minutes per month due to its engaging, personalized and short form content. So which is here, we can see that Malaysians really love to open TikTok monthly. Next, second is YouTube follows closely at 35 hours and 34 minutes, which is most of the Malaysians use YouTube for education purpose and others. While Facebook users spend 17 hours and 20 minutes monthly. So the fourth one is WhatsApp. Despite having the most users in Malaysia, we can see only 16 hours and 4 minutes of use, highlighting its role as a communication platform rather than an entertainment like TikTok, YouTube. Uh, Next is Instagram, which is around the list with 8 hours and 46 minutes. So other than that, with Twitter, Telegram, Pinterest, Line, Snapchat, Facebook Messenger and LinkedIn is Malaysian use 5 hours below in on monthly. So this platform play a key role in shaping communication, entertainment and content consumption habits in Malaysia.
Okay, for the next graph, which is horizontal bar graph, as we can see here, the main reason for using the internet and the most common reason for using internet is to find information, which valued 78.3% over 100%. This reflects high engagement with search engines, news sites, Q&A platforms, and tutorials. And the secondly, as you can see in the graph, keeping up to date with news and events. So most people use internet to keeping up to date with news and events. This shows that Malaysian use internet to stay informed about local and global happenings. And then for the third one, uh, for the third one is staying in touch with friends and family, which valued 68.2%, only 1.10% different with the second position. Most people use social media like messaging apps, like WhatsApp and Telegram to keep in touch with their friends and family. And other factor less than 70, less than 60, 64. Uh, so this is least reason for using the internet.
So, from our data that we collect, the conclusion is TikTok and also YouTube lead in user engagement due to the personalized entertainment and focused content. Secondly, we can see Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram really play an important role in communication and social connection to others. So, primarily used for the internet is for information, communication, and secondary use. Secondary use include online shopping, research, music, streaming, and travel planning. So, for the functional use, like finance, health, education, and productivity are important but less prioritized for Malaysian. Next is understanding these usage patterns helps business, educators, and marketers better tailor their content and services to meet user needs. So that's all from us. Thank you. So if you have any question, you can ask us. Okay, I would consider there is no question from you guys. So I would call to the next group, which is the title is Student Perspective on Online Learning Compared to Conventional Classroom Learning Between Fight of Study, which is Siti Nur Aina binti Muhammad Salim and Nur Anira Alia binti Rosli.
Assalamualaikum and good morning, Doctor. I bid to everyone. Today, my partner and I would like to explain about our topic for chat presentation, which is students' perspective on online learning compared to conventional classroom learning between fields of study. Before we start, I want to start by introducing myself and my partner. My name is Nur Anira Alia binti Rosli and my partner Siti Nur Aina binti Muhammad Salim. Next, introduction for this topic. In this topic, explain to study as a means students' perception of online learning in contrast to traditional classroom experience, especially focusing on those enrolled in culinary art management and engineering programs. Why my partner and I choose this topic because of the growing importance students shift to online learning raise questions about its effectiveness across different disciplines. Also, understanding how students from various academic fields like culinary art and engineering perceive online compared traditional learning can help educators design better, more field appropriate teaching methods. So, in this topic, we choose bar chart and pie chart. In this bar chart, purpose to compare the average preference for online learning between culinary arts, management, and engineering students. And pie chart to show the proportion of students from each field of study, culinary arts, management, and engineering students in the sample. Next, this bar chart shows the comparison between culinary arts, management, and engineering students' preference for online or conventional classroom learning. This figure published by University Technology Mara, UiTM, Cawangan, Pulau Pinang, Malaysia. Date of publication in March 24, 2025. As we can see, culinary arts students mostly prefer conventional learning because they prefer face-to-face class that allow them to work directly in the kitchen and also easy to do activities such as cooking and food preparation. While engineering students show a higher preference for online learning because for them it reduces travel time and allow them to review recorded lectures. It's interesting that even though both groups using online learning, only engineering students show strong support for it. Next, I will pass to my partner to present.
Okay, so for the next part, it's pie chart. So as you can see in this pie chart, they are converted to two types, which is online learning and conventional classroom. For online learning, there are 55% students that choose to online learning. 55% was state about 10 students. While for conventional classroom, there are 90 students. So based on all of this chart, there are 200 students that include from three courses. The first one is business, engineering, and also social science. So by more details, in business course, there are 60% students that prefer online learning. By engineering, 55% that like traditional classroom, and the last one social science they split, which is 52% that prefer online learning. So in this chart, they show that the greater proportion of students was like to online learning over traditional classes physically. Business students show that the strongest preference for online learning because they feel like that online learning more flexibility and they can cut time so they don't need to go physical class. While engineering student they like physical class because they want to, because engineering, like they have to work hand on hand between they and their lecturer. Based on social science, students show a balanced preference because some of students like to online class and some of students like to physical class. So feels like engineering, they may take for physical class because um, for for student they have to practical components in their course. So the next slide is conclusion. So as we can see that many students choose online class and physical class based on their field of study. So culinary art management, they have to physical class because uh, it is quite hard to study in online class because they have to learn face to face what about culinary, because as we know culinary is about cooking, and they have to do some practical in the class. By engineering they like to online learning because it's more flexibility and they have ability to study technical content at their own space. Fields that require direct practical interaction still primarily on traditional classroom. So this finding highlight the importance of adapting teaching methods to suit the specific needs of different academic program. Because as we can see to conclude that many students choose traditional learning, traditional classroom because this method was based on their study. So that's all from our group. Next group, I will pass to head presenter, Situ Khairah and Amira Anis.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to our fellow friends. So we are from Group 8 and our topic is exploring the effect of income inequality and gender on school completion in Malaysia. So our presentation is based on a research paper called Examining the Impact of Income Inequality and Gender on School Completion in Malaysia by Muhammad Sukri bin Ramli. So we, Umaira and Amira Anis, has worked together to study the income effects of students finishing school in Malaysia. So next I will pass the introduction to Amira Anis.
Thank you, Myra. For the topic that we study is exploring the effect of income inequality and gender on school completions in Malaysia. In this study, we look in the inequality and gender effect of school completions in Malaysia. We use open data from the government covering the years 2016 to 2022. This data includes students' education level from primary to upper secondary, whether that are boys or girls, and the income level of the family in each state. To understand the data better, the articles is use several computer tools and methods like cluster analysis, statistical forecasting methods, and automated forecasting tools to help us to find patterns and trends. We found that students in state with lower income often have lower school completion rates. This means that income inequality plays a big role in whether students finish school or not. So next, for the background, uh, the topic the topic which is student completing their educations in Malaysia is nation while more children are enrolling in schools. Not all of them finish their education. This issue has been studied in the recent report by Muhammad Shukri bin Ramli, published in 2014. The study looks at how things like income levels and where student life affect their ability to complete their schools. The study used data from 2016 to 2022 and used machine learning to help analyze these situations. One of the main findings of the study is that student income level has a big impact on whether they can finish their educations. This means that if a students come from low income families, they may face more challenges to complete their schools. For understanding this factor, it is important because even though most students are enrolling in school, the enrollment numbers don't always show how many students actually finish their education. So these findings help explain why there might be a gaps between enrollment and completion rate. Now, I will pass to Umaira.
So for central ideas is analyzing on how income disparities and gender differences affect school completion rates and across nation states. So utilizing machine learning techniques such as clustering, modeling, and regression for forecasting, the study identifies significant variation in educational attainment and that links to the socio-economic factors. So the findings highlight that higher income does not always correlate with higher school completion rate disparities, always persist in educational outcomes. So the study concludes by recommending targeted policy intervention to address this issue. So next is the description of graph that we have chosen is scatter plot and bar graph, which is the scatter plots is income versus average school completion rate by states. So as you can see in the chart 1, Kuala Lumpur has the highest average income because in KL they have a very there are so many economic opportunities. So students doesn't always end their schools, so they prefer to find money by working. So that's why Kuala Lumpur has the highest average income, but at the same time, it has a very low, such as the next slide here, it has a very high income but low completion of schools. Also in Putrajaya, it has much better high school completion rate because Putrajaya mostly the population contains of government employees which given the stable life to the students. So in Kelantan, it recorded the lowest mean monthly household income. So as you can see, in Kelantan, it has the low income but high completion. Why is that? So because Kelantan, their income there is equal to the educational fees. So it's stable, give them a stable financial. And they also have a very high cultural, religious country because they prefer to have a moral institution. So for them, education is very important. So that's why even though it has a lower income, it has a very high completion of schools. And then for chat 2, I will give to Amir.
For the second graph, we use bar chart, which is student intake and flow from primary to secondary schools. Each group of bar shows a stage in education. The dark blue are for boys and the light blue or green bars are for girls. The first bar are gross intake. Boys are at 101% and the girls at 103%. This means more than 100% of children are starting school. Why it's more than 100%? Because some children may start school late or early, not exactly at the normal age. But this is good signs because it means most children are going to school. Next, we look at the net intake and net enrollment. These numbers are around 98% to 99% for both boys and girls. This shows that nearly all children of the correct age are in the school. This means Malaysia is doing a good job at making sure children attend the school. Then we look at the gross enrollment in primary school. It is 103% for boys and 104% for girls. This tell us that the total number of students in primary school is slightly higher than expected. Again, this may include students who repeat a grade or start school at a different age. After primary school, students go to a lower secondary school. The chart shows that 92% of boys and 90% of the girls make this transition. This is still high, but we can see a small drop. Why does this happen? Some students may stop the school due to family reasons, money problem, or because they have to work. The biggest drop happened in gross enrollment in upper secondary schools. Boys go down to 80% and girls to 87%. 87%. Why it is important? Because it shows that many students, especially boys, are not continuing the final stage of school because some of students may feel school is not useful or they need to work to help their families. Now I will pass it over to my friend Omar.
So, to enhance the school completion and long-term education benefits, Malaysia must adopt a dual strategy that addresses both urban inequality and rural limitation. In high-income areas like I said earlier, Kuala Lumpur, efforts should focus on equitable resources, support for low-income families, and early intervention programs to prevent dropouts. Meanwhile, in low incomes but high completion areas like Kelantan, the priority should shift towards expanding access to higher education, for example, strengthening the vocational training, and also creating job opportunities that make education is meaningful. So nationally, improving digitally infrastructure, empowering teachers, and also leveraging data driven by decision making will ensure a more inclusive, balanced, and effective education system for all. So, for the conclusion that we have studied from this article is that income does really affect the school completion rates in Malaysia, but they are not the only factors. There are so many much more issues or factors that can contribute to the rates of completion schools, the rates of completion schools of the students. So while students in the richer states like the Kuala Lumpur usually have a higher completion rates, and some poorer states still perform well because of strong community support and good local policies. So that is the end of our presentation. We'll pass to the next presenter.
Did you see our our slide? Assalamualaikum and good morning to doctors and my fellow friends. My name is Nur Emilia Irdina binti Izharuddin. Today, me and my partner, Ain Shazwani Widai binti Abdul Rauf, going to present about pet ownership in Malaysia. So next, we move to the introduction. The background of pet ownership is pets are increasingly seen as a part of the family. The ownership is long and stretched back thousands of years. The primary motivations for domesticating animals in early human cultures were practiced ones, such as using dogs for hunting and protections, cat for pets management, and others animal for protections of works. These connections developed into affections over time beyond moving beyond practically. The emotional ties that humans are always has animals are demonstrated by archaeological evidence, such as burials of people with their pets. Next, animals also used for their practical purpose have evolved into cherished family members in a modern society. Pets today have a major positive impact on mental and emotional health. Animals also have shown in numerous studies to help lower stress, fight loneliness, and enhance mental health in generations. Besides that, in families also changing their every routines and lifestyles, which frequently impact their living space, travel preference, and even interpersonal interactions. Next, Malaysians generally have a positive view towards pets, especially cats and dogs. Dogs are likely become more and more popular, yet choosing a pet can occasionally be influenced by cultural and religious considerations. Next, we move to central ideals. Central ideas for these topics is pet ownership is become more and more common in Malaysia due to changing lifestyles, growing awareness of advantage of having a pet, and increased disposable income. Next, we move to descriptions of chart. The first chart we choose is bar chart, which shows that the result of regarding pet ownership among Malaysians. It is categorized responding into 4 groups, which is those who own a pet, who own multiple pets, those who do not currently own pet, are interested, and those who are not interested on owning pet. The analysis of this chart is 24.7% have a pet in their house, and 26.4% have a multiple pet in their house, and the other is 26.2% that not interested in having one pet. Next, I'll pass to the next presenter.
Okay, next is the second chart, which is the pie chart. This pie chart is being received by the Standard Insight Consumer Report Nation 2023, which is the top places to shop for pet accessories and supplies in Malaysia. This chart published in 2023 shows that where Malaysians prefer to buy pet products, ranging from specialized shops to online platforms and general supermarkets. The result shows that according to 28.5%, which is the specialized pet shop or boutiques, is the most popular place to buy pet supplies and accessories in Malaysia. This implies that a large number of Malaysians like to purchase their pet supplies from establishments that probably provide a more specialized selection of products and inform customer care. In Malaysia, they obviously appreciate professional guidance, superior products, and specialized services. More pet-specific products such as high-quality food, grooming equipment, and medical supplies, and more informed personnel are frequently available at the specialized shops. Secondly, we move to the second, which is 20.5%, which is customers buy from major chain pet supply stores, suggesting a high level of confidence in bigger brands with more product availability and maybe lower prices. Third ranking is the online shopping, which is 17% of pet owners choosing to shop for supplies digitally. This reflects the growing trend of e-commerce convenience, especially among younger and urban consumers. E-commerce sites frequently provide products reviews to help the pet owners to purchase their decisions and to look at many more promotion in that online website. Next is the general supermarkets that play a notable role, which is capturing 16.7% of the market, showing that accessibility and convenience matter when buying pet essentials. General supermarkets are reliable for daily shopping that might not carry high-end or specialty pet supplies. During supermarket shopping, consumers may purchase minimal essentials like snacks or litter box that instead of comprehensive pet care packages. Meanwhile, convenience stores only account for 12.6%, suggesting that while they offer quick solutions, they are not the primary choices for pet owners seeking variety or quality. Convenience stores usually provide a fairly small selection of pet supplies while being readily accessible. Instead of using them for routine or scheduled pet shopping, they are frequently used for last minute purchase. So finally, we move to the last, which is 3.4%, include the other category, which includes specialized markets or less popular buying strategies. There are certain specialized shopping habits, such as purchasing from neighborhood markets, private vendors, or pet fairs and festivals. Although they are not widely used, they are nonetheless applicable to handmade or distinctive goods. The least percentage is the warehouse club stores that hold a small portion, which is 1.3% of market, maybe as a result of less specialized pet products or fewer pet-related purchase. In Malaysia, purchasing pet supplies in bulk is common. Bulk buying is less feasible because pet food and supplies frequently require customer selections based on pet size, breed, and health. So we move to the conclusion. So as we can conclude within the chart itself is First, to promote the importance of responsibility pet ownership. This includes educating potential owners about the essentials, which is timely veterinary visits to prevent illness, proper dietary habits to ensure well-being, and behavioral training to help pets adapt to their domestic environments. It calls for a shift from impulsive adoption to well-informed and prepared pet parenting, reducing abandonment and neglect. Second is to support sustainable and ethical pet supply options. With growing environmental awareness, this point advocates for eco-conscious consumer behavior in the pet industry. Pet owners are encouraged to choose biodegradable waste bags, sustainably sourced of organic foods, and toys that made from recycled materials. These choices reduce the carbon footprint associated with pet care and support ethical manufacturing, aligning animal welfare and environmental responsibility. So the third of the conclusion is to provide resources for pet supply savings. These financial constraints are a major concern for pet owners. These include the practical ways to reduce expenses such as bulk purchasing itself, like food, litter box, or grooming supplies, which lowers per unit cost. It is also suggests community based solution to by a group and enabling pet owners to pool resources and gain access to discounts or promotion, especially for lower income households or multi-pet families. So that's all for our group. Thank you.
Doctor,
Is that
we have then present our group, the 9 group from our class.
is that all? Oh, okay then. Thank you. Can we end with the recitation of Speaker Farah and Walas? Anybody? Somebody, please recite Tasbih Kifara and Suratul Walas, Suratul As. Irina,
Yes, Doctor.
can you please recite Tasbih Kifara and Suratul Walas?
Alright. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal-as innal insana lafi khusr innal ladzina amanu wa amilus solihati tawassaw bis-sabri wa tawassaw bis-sabr. Amin.
Thank you very much, Irina. Okay, see you next Monday. Have a great day.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
Doctor.